Hello, everybody, and welcome to Season 3 of VFX and Chill. This is the premiere of Season 3, and we are joined by a familiar face, Seth Worley. Seth, how are you doing?
This hole. Welcome back to the show, this hole in the middle of the screen. Yeah, it's me. I'm back, making my dumb jokes. How are you, Hashi?
I am doing well. I had a...
That sounded so weird. What did I say? How are you, Hashi?
How are
I
you,
am real.
Hashi? You're not the real Seth. Seth never wears
right.
hats. Wait, no, Seth wears hats.
Seth wears hats when he hasn't had a haircut in a month and a half.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, we are here today. If you're new to the show, this is a show where Seth, me, and a mystery guest named... Oh, Michael.
Skype. Welcome back, Skype.
Welcome
No,
back,
Skype. How could you?
Oh, this is terrible. Let's see what has happened
There-
to
uh,
our...
wait.
What? You back? Back? I don't know. This is our special guest. We'll figure that out later. I don't know what's happening with this, but Michael is the Skype logo for now. So
Hi, I'm gonna be the Skype logo. The chat says, "Hey, isn't that feature film director Seth Worley?"
wait a second. That is feature film director Seth Worley. Seth,
Where?
why are we calling you that?
Because I made a movie while I was gone.
What?
Shot a movie, and now I'm going into extensive post-production on said movie.
That's incredible. People have known you've been making short films for years. And did this feature-length film happen to be, based on or take inspiration from any specific shorts that exist out there already?
Well, funny enough, the more accurately, the short film known as Darker Colors, which was a Red Giant short. That short is actually was based on the script for this movie. I wrote, as you know, Hashi, I wrote this script. Started writing it 6 years ago. Had a draft in 2018-ish when our father figures at Red Giant offered me a chance to make a short film as a proof of concept for it. And
Incredible.
I did.
People can see the link down there below. As well,
and the movie that we made is
yeah.
So the movie we made is very, very different from the short. So when you watch that short, know that you were watching something unique and special, and there's nothing else like it except Stranger Things. It's a lot like Stranger Things, but the movie very different in tone, very different in texture and aesthetic, and I think if I don't screw it up in post, I think it's going to be something really special and fun to watch.
Hey, when have you ever screwed something up in post? I would say not.
Welcome to the act of the show, where we screw things up in post as a theme.
Well, the last time Red Giant, financed a short for me, it never came out. So there's that.
Hey, yet it hasn't come out.
It hasn't come out yet. Never too late for that fresh take on Venom. If any of you don't know, we filmed a short film with the amazing David Hewlett that was supposed to come out before the first Venom movie came out. But then it turned out it required a lot of visual effects, and I wasn't free to do them all, which meant that it turned into a years-long process of trying to ask favors from lots of people that were already doing things to try to put together the movie. And it keeps on getting closer and closer. And why are we talking about my movie? You went out and shot a crazy feature film this summer. That's incredible.
Yeah, man. It's really crazy that it's all shot.
How did it feel getting through an entire movie's worth of directing and filming?
Dude, it felt like the most nothing felt weird or different about it. The only thing that felt weird was that the script that I've been working on for 6 years was being shot, and there were points throughout the shoot where I was like, oh, half the movie's been shot, or 3/4 of the movie's been shot. Now 100% or 99%. There's plenty of pickups and inserts that need to be grabbed later, but it felt so natural and normal. It was the same job I've been doing for years on commercials and shorts, and it was a slightly larger scale, but not that much bigger of a scale than the commercials that I've been directing. Shot it all in Nashville with crew of Nashville people, with the exception of a couple folks. My director of photography, Meg Stacy, she's based out of LA. We worked on a few commercials in LA together, and she flew out, shot the movie, and a lot of the cast was Nashville based, except for actually, I don't know the percentages on that. I know that our leads were almost primarily from outside of Nashville, either LA or I think one of the kids was from Cincinnati. But anyway, this is for all your journals, for writing down, logging where everybody's from.
Did you just say how many weeks the shoot lasted?
Six weeks.
Incredible. So that's wonderful. How did you decide to break up the types of shots you were filming? Did you pile up any one type of thing to start with early or finish with late?
Yeah, so without getting into spoiler territory, we had basically there aren't a ton of locations in the movie, and so we spent about the first 3 weeks were in one location, and then there were 2 weeks in another location, and then the last week was spent in another location. And there were a few days in there where we did a couple parts that were nearby. We found some other locations that were nearby, where we were were based for one of the weeks or whatever, and grabbed a few things here and there. But it was very much location driven, and a little bit of it was actor schedule driven. I can say this, it's in social media and stuff. The two leads in the film were Tony Hale and Darcy Carden, who two people who I absolutely adore and love their work, and Tony has been a friend for several years. And my first time working with Darcy, and she's just as wonderful a person as she is on screen.
Was she similar at all to working with the actor from the Red Giant 1, or Red Giant Complete ad that I believe that you read?
Oh, I completely forgot that I ripped off the Janet character in that promo. That's hilarious. Michael, I don't know if you can share that, because I think it's that's a branding we're no longer using, so I don't think we use that video anymore. But
it still exists somewhere. But I'm not.
Video still. All of our promos are timeless.
I'm not looking for it.
No, but our promo codes are not. Is what.
That's what it is. I'm very similar. Yes. Oh my God, I forgot that I ripped that off. I would have absolutely told her.
Is this a comedy that you made? Is it a thriller? Is it sci-fi? How would you describe?
It's a whirly joint.
Is it a whirly joint?
The answer to that question is yes. It is. I've described it as a Spielbergy horror comedy. It's it's very much
it's a whirly joint.
Yeah, it's a whirly joint.
That's your brand.
Because if you look at Shaun of the Dead, they weren't spoofing zombie movies. They literally made a zombie movie. They made a romantic comedy as a zombie movie, and a zombie movie in one. And this is very much like a kind of Spielberg-y, E.T., Jurassic Park, but very much a comedy. Like, the references, like I'd say it's Inside Out meets Jurassic Park. Hunt for the Wilder People is a really good example of like kind of the tone of the movie. Yeah, if it sounds all over the place, it's because it kind of is, and if we can make it work, it'll be really, really fun.
That sounds incredible. So if you're not following Seth, who is Awakeland 3D on Twitter, do that, or on Instagram or anything.
He's the Seth Worley on Instagram.
The Seth Worley on Instagram.
The Seth Worley, or the Seth Worley, one of the two.
But if you follow only one account, I think we know what account we want you to follow.
But with raptors.
It's true.
Obviously.
It is true.
I'm now starting to get emails from like people who work on the movie. They're texting me like they're like, But with Raptors is showing up in their meme accounts they follow, and in their like Discord channels and Slack channels that they're in with friends, where like friends are like recommending like, hey, look at this video, and they're like, I know this weirdo. Like, it's literally coming around back to us. It makes me so happy. The one you made this week, Hashi, is destroying the internet entirely.
It does make me happy. Let me see if there's a
I mean, you've got to show your latest one.
Let's see. What do I do for this? I can turn on this screen cap, I think. I'm just trying to strategize my window so you're not just littered with the Queen's death.
Let me also real quick drop this into my After Effects and make it full screen. This screenshot of our before you show the video. This was our
After Effects. You said.
Load it. Come on. Sorry. Hold on.
All right. I'll switch to it when we're ready here.
Okay. Here we go.
All right.
I just went to Slack and said someone should turn Harry Styles into a Dilophosaurus because, as we all know, and have been following the shit show that has been the publicity tour or whatever for what's the movie called? Don't worry, darling. And apparently, Harry Styles appears to spit on Chris Pine,
which you don't do. You don't do.
It should actually be considered treason. But
did you say treason because he's
like,
a pine?
If it's a regular human, but like a Chris Pine, that's.
Michael, don't think I didn't hear that, and don't think I didn't just check a demerit right now for you. Anyway, this is like my first message in the Slack channel like for 6 weeks as I've been on this movie. And actually, you got so happy, and it made me so happy. And you went and made this. I'm hoping you have it pulled up and can go to it because
here we are. Let's see here, and what is it? All right, so here's the But with Raptors Twitter page, which you should all be subscribed to because it's amazing.
It should be your homepage when you open up a browser.
It should. So we put together this video.
Look at that. You say we. You did this. You did this, and it's so good.
Even better with sound, which I am not currently sharing, I think.
Oh my gosh.
But amazing. I got to use a handful of tricks for this one. First of all, we did not have a Dilophosaurus, so I had to modify one that kind of existed and retexture it to look more like the Jurassic Park ones. But I'm pleased with how it turned out. Those frills are no joke. They're a pain in the butt to try to reconcile with a human body.
I thought you did really great. Did his collar already stick out that far, or did you stylize that? It's so great because it looked like you made that choice.
No, you see, Harry Styles made that choice. He's responsible for all his choices, really. but Lockdown by Chris Vranos is responsible for the. Let me see. I'll try to make it larger. The lovely slime tracking on Chris Pine, which is just so fun to do. That would be lovely.
one of my favorite things, which is the new simulation engine, can now mix the simulation with your animation in several different ways, and it gives you a huge amount of control. You can control it with vertex maps and keyframe sliders and all kinds of stuff to give you like so much control. You can have it be pinned to the animation or have the animation be just like a force. So it's kind of like a wind blowing on the points to try to get them back to the position that's animated. And it gives you just an amazing amount of control. Plus, new symmetry options. The asset browser actually works the way you want it to now with your own assets. And like so many other things. Plus, Trapcode now has a bunch of new animated sprites in it. And bug fixes. The designer launches faster now, which is very handy for Trapcode in particular. It's nice.
Oh my gosh!
Finally, I haven't gotten to try it yet, but you just
so
said
great.
that, and it makes me want to
the
just open it and close it all day.
The plugin still takes a while to load when you first put it on there because After Effects still has to index the 7,000 whatever effects controls because After Effects is that way currently. We are working with them on that, apparently, they say. But yeah, the designer launches faster. But also, Universe now has over 100 new presets in it, highlighting some features that a lot of people didn't know about. Like some of the people think fractal background is just for making those stupid fractal backgrounds, but you can also use it to make like light leaks and lower thirds and all this other stuff. So there's 100 new presets, a lot of which are showcasing some of the features you didn't really necessarily know about. Plus, there's bug fixes in VFX Suite and everything. But yeah, that's a long way of saying that's the only thing I wish we could have had in there is a Dilophosaurus kind of his shoulder kind of pushing his frill around.
That would have
But
been
otherwise,
whenever Michael
amazing.
does that, can we make an OBS scene where we fade away and Michael just becomes in this like void of money signs like going all over the place?
I think that absolutely needs to happen. Oh wait, let's see. I'm showing the wrong thing here.
Oh, that's a good thing to show. We do need to talk about this.
It's true, but I don't remember what happened to my. Here's what I wanted to show. I wanted to show one of the things that you, Michael, put together with the new cloth simulation.
Like 15 minutes.
Look at that twisted up, ridiculous
fun?
fabric.
Yeah.
Cool,
like,
right?
So
My
what I
bones.
do is I animate in just a couple of frames, animate from the full thing down to you can say how long you want the constraints to be, but the between each point. So I animate down to 0 so that it goes to nothingness. But in the process, it crumples up a lot. So you're seeing it from when it begins uncrumpling. I say, hey, I'm mixing the animation back in, saying, hey, go back to the position you're supposed to be in, silly points.
Like, look at this, the way it dynamically twists up like a little, like, crumpled...
A little fist. It looks like a little fist.
It does.
Raised fist in the air. And I love that you chose music that implies that we're coming to kill you. Like,
yeah, it's real dramatic, too.
Hey, we kill every week on this show.
We slay.
Slay. Boom.
Speaking of slay, someone on Twitter... also, I wanted to share this named Skeletal Minion gave us what you called maybe the most perfect comment we'll ever get on But With Raptors.
It is. You have it on your screen there?
I do.
Let's see. Here we are.
Which is, I've seen this before, but I'd forgotten about it. It's a panel from a Spider-Man comic. But you can rewrite DNA on the fly and you're using it to turn people into dinosaurs. But with tech like that, you could cure cancer. But I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs.
It's almost
too on the nose.
It sounds so much like my last
I don't think,
employee review.
I don't think you can say it's too much on the nose when you've got a pterodactyl in the shot, though. It's hurtful.
Why do we keep letting him on the show, Hashi? Like, why is he still here in season 3?
There's a switch right here. I could flick this anytime. But my goodness, what a lot of fun.
Seth, there was a question from the chat. They want to know, are you, Hashi, and I going to tackle all 1,000 VFX shots on your movie?
No,
like
just Hashi and Michael.
In the next 2 hours. Start the timer.
I don't know yet. I have to get a first assembly done, and then I'll have a better idea of the full extent of the VFX needs. Suffice to say, I will be asking for favors from good friends of mine and Michael.
It's really the best call you can receive.
I'm just kidding, Michael. You're a good friend of mine. I love you. There were
my
no
day
laughs
rate
to that.
Is
It is skyrocketing as I continue to talk.
I've done work for Disney now, so I can charge.
Ooh.
Oh, did you miss that?
Work for
that?
Disney, so can you get paid?
There is a Christmas.
I didn't say anything.
There's a Christmas
you all.
special coming up that has my work on one of the scenes. So I'm excited.
Dude.
Is it the Great Salam Christmas special? Disney's The Great
On
Salam.
on the Great Zalam Plus, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's fun. I've been doing a little bit of work lately. I've done graphics for a football stadium on those wacky screen, like those those little tiny thin screens that wrap around the whole stadium, and the big massive ones. So I have a whole graphics package that goes on all the screens.
Nice.
And I did some VFX for Disney. I got a lot done when we didn't have our show going on. But
nice, man.
I miss this show. I'm
I
so
miss
glad we're
this
back.
show too.
Like I
Me
missed
too.
it so bad. My hair has grown long.
Look at that. It looks like my hair in junior high is what it looks like.
Yeah, it straight out like you fell into the 90s while we were
Fell
gone.
right into the 90s while you were gone.
Yeah.
Now I didn't make this joke, but someone said absence makes the hair grow longer, and I think that was a great joke that needs to come back
Definitely.
into our conversation. Speaking of visual effects and stuff, do we want to talk about that trailer you were showing bits of earlier, Hashi? Or do you want
What is that thing?
Or do you want to talk about this new script you're developing, or do you want to start After Effectsing stuff? Do you want to talk about your background behind you?
Oh man,
Like there's a ton of stuff we need to talk about this show. And
Well, let me start with this. Obviously, it's a new season, and let's look at Hashi's render queue at 1:40 p.m. My time, which is 20 minutes before the show. I rendered out a new intro sequence for VFX and Chill, which is always a lot of fun to do. It actually was very absurd. But yeah, the theme was this whole relinking files leads to this absurd, I don't know what you'd call it, tunnel of craziness. And
my question is, this tunnel of craziness, how long is it if I were to spread it out, like print it out and spread it out over the
it is
earth?
quite large. Let me see if I remember. So say where we end is kind of in this little like green screen camera studio thing. And as many of you may have guessed, this was largely created by Dolly and some AI assist, which is cool. So this is a studio with a green
He
screen,
means his band,
cameras
everybody.
and stuff
Dolly
like
and
that.
some AI.
I do.
It's his boy band. Sorry.
And if this image itself were 1 foot across from screen edge to screen edge, then as we zoom out to the initial Big Bang moment, which is right around here, this canvas would be 1,059 miles across.
God.
Oh, jeez.
So that is a long zoom for After Effects to...
I was gonna say After
have
Effects
to-
doesn't really like layer sizes of a certain amount, so
Of a certain mile count.
It's not.
after a mile worth of comp width, it gets annoyed. So how did you handle making that happen?
So that was handled by some really goofy math of doing stuff like, let me see, I don't even remember if I have the original zoom in here. Let's see, is it this one? Yeah, this is the zoom. So it's a lot of images, which are 25% resolution here. Actually, no, how do I explain that? I would do an image, and then I would generate an image that was twice as big. And then I would generate another image that was twice as big, with the center getting shrunk down to here, using Dolly, with some slight prompts to take us from what I hoped was like in a studio, through the streets, like spattered with Buff Monster style VFX inspired graffiti, and Michael in space, to like a magic school bus.
I love that of me just like, hey, thanks.
I love it. It makes me very happy to see you welcoming us to this universe.
Okay, that's the OBS scene I want. When Michael starts talking products. I want that hand. Like I want us to disappear, him to be in space, stay in his bounding box, but then have that little galaxy with his hand come out, and the product to be floating above it. Or
Yes,
just
the
a
Cinema
money
4D
sign.
Red Giant ZBrush logos.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, not unlike Ryan George's Adstronaut. I love it.
What? That's a thing?
That's a thing. Ryan George, who does the Screen Rants pitch meetings and also has his own channel. Very cool stuff. Cool Canadian. And
At least it wasn't Corridor for once. That already did
for
something
once.
that we did.
But let's see, what did I want to show? I wanted to show my favorite part of this, which came together in a stupidly short amount of time. I really wanted the look of,
so good.
like good old fashioned like a puppet show from like 1970 that was like telecinade and broadcast in early color or something like that, which is great because first of all, to achieve that look, all I needed to do was apply Universe Retrograde to the footage I had, and it gave me a great color space for it and cool film grain and little film blotches and stuff. But I tried simulating the look of cheap dangling on fishing wire kind of lettering, and nothing quite was working out for me, and I was losing a lot of time trying to get the simulation to work just right. And then my lovely wife Mandy, who is an art director, said, "Hey, there's another way that you could probably accomplish a cheap." Let's see. I'm going to switch back to our host's view for a second. Suggested a good way to simulate a cheap 60s model kind of thing would be to actually build it.
Your screen is reversed, so we see it backwards, but sure.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So you have literal
So
the
I
logo
have-
dangling.
so
How
I
did how did you how did she make that?
How did she do that?
Let me see. I'll share a little video with.
Also, is she
my
there
thing.
nearby? Please give her a hug for us.
I would. She is picking up our children from school right at the
God
moment.
bless her.
But yeah, which I appreciate.
Andy, when you inevitably
tremendously.
watch this later, because we know you watch all the shows.
All the shows.
We love you.
Because yeah, can't get enough of me. Just
No.
around the house being awesome. Let's see.
Our spouses, all three of ours, they love our show and just watch it
They
religiously.
do.
Yeah, all
Because
day.
they think I don't spend enough time with you during the day, and we just say, yeah, honey, watch the show. You'll get lots of it. All right, I'm sending a little bit of info. Oh, actually, no, I think I sent that to our Slack, didn't I? Let me see if I can pull it up. This is very entertaining and exciting for everyone who isn't part of our Slack channel. That we communicate about
I
the
think
show in the
that
background.
people are interested in finding out how you did those little dangly letters. I think they are interested.
All right, so here's a small little.
I know I am. Is that lasers?
These are lasers. Check it out.
Lasers. How long have you
We
guys
used
had that?
lasers
That's
to make.
amazing.
We used real life lasers to make a
Real life lasers.
visual effect.
There's Mandy being awesome,
Oh, look at her!
painting this little holder blue. So this little shape was specifically to catch all of the letters from the and chill
Oh, yeah.
section, which is cool to hold them together as one unit. And then the VF and X are all separate pieces with little nice little holes up at the top.
Did
so they
she
can
did
be-
she do the little red on the sides to get that kind of drop shadow look? Oh, that's
She
so good.
did. It's incredible. And so
Attention to detail.
yeah, the attention to detail is amazing. She matched the colors perfectly, which is ridiculous because I was like, it's like yellow and reddish, and then she was like, ask Seth what colors they are, and then. But yeah, something so satisfying about this whole process, and I'm just tremendously appreciative because when you decide that you want to make a model of your logo to insert into an intro sequence the night before your premiere happens, you ask very politely, and you are very grateful that it gets executed, which is
Oh, and it
lovely.
came out so good because it so has that vibe that you're going for of like
It's, right there.
we're trying as hard as we can to make this cool, kids. Oh, it's so
I love
good.
it. So that takes me back to like Saturday Night Live, graphic transition things and stuff.
Oh, it's
So
good.
much fun.
Mandy, this was worth your time.
It was, yeah. Show some love to Mandy in the comments. Thank her for making this physical sign, which will stay behind me.
And is her Instagram public or private?
Let's see. It is. You can find it. Let's see. It is. I will find it off
Because
screen
I
here and share.
was going to promote it, if so, talk about it, because
It is public. So yeah.
she's doing this really cool miniature build right now that I'm excited to see.
Oh my god.
People should check out and follow.
Definitely. Yeah. Please do check her out. Let me see if I can pull it up here so I can spread a little love. Instagram. Bop, 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 bop. Boom. Oh yeah. All right, here we are. I'll share my screen. This is just a sharing catch-up corner. I have missed you, Seth, and Michael. I didn't get to hang out and speak with you as often.
You guys don't speak when I'm not around.
It was really awkward when we did. We'd be like, hey, what's going on? Like, hey, have you heard from Seth? No, have you heard from Seth?
I had that effect on people.
Check it out. Yeah, Mandy Richardville on Instagram. This one. Right now, she's building... she has this awesome antique desk which fits into a corner, and in the back
It says
is
that
this
account
weird...
is private.
Oh, it does.
You have to follow. You have to follow. You have to follow her to see things.
Follow her to see things. Then Mandy Richardville, follow, give her a follow, and check out these cool things. She has a desk that has this little recess in the back of it, like behind stuff. But you take out a little panel, and she's building a little study within her study that's going
So
to have
good.
like little
I didn't know
lamps
where
and
it
stuff
was.
like that. It's incredible. So it fits in this cool old antique desk, which I don't think we have a picture of. It's not this one. But also Halloween is coming up, and Mandy is building a 12 times larger than life full dandelion
Whoa!
to be in our front yard, because we're going to try to make our front yard look kind of like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, weeds and
What?
big grass
Oh, that's so
thing.
cool.
Fairy little wonderland thing.
Are you dressing as the Selinskys?
We are not dressing as the Slinskys. Mandy is dressing as an
More than
awesome
you normally
fairy.
do.
Not more than I normally do. That's my... People are like, are you cosplaying as Wayne Selinsky right now? And I
That would be the biggest compliment to me as a kid, by the way.
I would love that. I want it to be the... I don't even remember what the kid's name is.
Nick.
Nick. I want it to be Nick from that so bad.
We all
Nice
did.
little, like, carbon copy of my nerdy dad. Genius, but still with my whole life ahead of me.
You date Carrie Russell in a toy car.
Exactly.
In your brother's overall pouch in the second movie.
Have your hearts broken by spoiler alert for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Auntie's tragic fate.
Oh yeah.
Amazing. But
Gross.
so that's what. So it was really fun to dabble in some practical effect kind of stuff, even though it's it appears very briefly, but it's a nice nod to this.
Oh, just the way the light bounces off of it, like it just has a feeling to it that is just. But you've keyed it in front of their stuff, so you're using practical effects and CG effects together to great effect.
It's fun. It's really great to. I think I remember in Toy Story 2. Is that the one where they show the old Woody's Roundup TV show?
There's Woody's Roundup TV show that absolutely does this kind of effect, but then there's also Toy Story of Terror where Angus MacLane actually, from what I understand, there's an old Dracula movie on TV in that. And the vampire bursts and becomes a little toy bat. And I believe that toy bat is not CG. It's just Angus MacLane like flopping this toy bat around in front of a blue screen or green screen.
Oh my gosh. That is phenomenal.
But it totally looks like the marionettes in Toy Story 2 also. You're right.
Yeah, that was a great effect. I love seeing real world effects simulated via camera or via technology, I guess is what I mean. Similar to the mocap that inspired the animation for the porcelain doll in Sam Raimi's Oz movie.
Wow. That was a long journey to get to the end of that sentence.
It's a long journey. But one of my favorite parts of Sam Raimi's Oz movie, which I got to go to the set of and like see him and stuff, which was really cool.
Oh, really?
They filmed it in Detroit.
Where you normally hang out.
Where I normally hang out. I was just like, Sam, what's happening, man? And he was like, who let you in here? And
And who are you?
but Yeah, they built a handful of practical sets, which I got to see, which was pretty cool, but also tons of digital enhancement. All of it was prevised, I think, by the third floor. Um, but anyway, they have a character in that is a porcelain doll that is sort of like repaired and patched back together. And the way they made her move was by motion capturing a marionette, which was amazing. Which I'm sure
cool.
that by the end it was reanimated by the actual animators, but
Yeah.
it did possess a lot of the qualities of like you could tell that her center of gravity was like these phantom hands that and strings that she was dangling from, which is really cool to see.
That's cool.
So yeah, take inspiration from real world phenomena. It's fun to do. So
I will.
do it. So speaking of, I don't know, that's a terrible transition of real world phenomena. Michael, you pointed us to this clip that. Let me find the YouTube link that you sent me. We're just a little rusty on remembering how shows and things work. Where did you send that to me, Michael?
I sent it to you on Teams.
On Teams, on everyone's favorite
Everyone's
Microsoft the Teams.
I threw it in the garbage for you, Hashi. That's where you can find it. I'm going to walk around real quick and shoot a plate for something I want to try that
I like
we're doing a little later. So I'm not gone. I'm listening.
All right. Seth is listening, and I am looking for, because it should be easy for me to just see now, but I don't. I don't see it. Michael, help me out. What is the thing? I have the behind-the-scenes clip that I can play, but I don't remember where you mentioned the other thing.
The full YouTube video?
Yeah, which channel did you mention it in?
Same one, but I'll put it in the Slack to make it easier.
Thank you.
No problem. Here it right, paste, go. There you go.
Hey,
There's a
check
full
it out.
thing.
Full thing. All right. So
I'm just gonna put it in the YouTube chat because
great idea. Then you all can watch it in better quality than
yes.
than me,
after the
looking
show's
at the
over, go
restream.
watch this.
Exactly. Okay. So here's what we are talking about. This. So this is a fan-made Titanfall trailer that was made using Unreal Engine and
and a lot of our tools.
A lot of our tools.
There's a lot of he said they use super comp in every shot, almost every shot. Magic Bullet looks for color. They used optical glow. They used particular. They used bang a lot for pretty much all the gunfire. And it's really cool. You should go watch it. Don't show too much of it. Oh, yes. Hashi, don't want to give too much.
Phenomenal work.
Like a ton. Like it's an amazing cinematic looking thing.
Yeah, it looks really great.
They made a cool little behind the scenes thing where they show off how they use some of our tools on it. And we are going to be sharing that on our social media channels next week. But you lucky folk, getting a little sneak peek of it here. But yeah, so they sit there and they talk. They're talking about how they put this all together, kind of the assets they used and how they made them all marry up with super comp. And here, just if you hang on a second, Jordy gets to in a minute or so, you'll get to see his super comp setups. And my goodness, it's fantastic.
Let's see, it's so cool. Hey, there's our good friend.
There's Bang. With our action movie Shia LaBeouf looking dude. Yeah, so
Shia
LaBang. I mean, the great thing about Bang, like he mentions here, is that you don't have to try to make it fit. Like you get stock footage of a muzzle flash, you have to try to make it fit. But with Bang, you just make it the angle you need. Okay, here's the super comp stuff. Here's our promo for it, and then here's him using it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Look at all those effects.
That's a super comp user.
Ultra comp.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's cool. So we'll post this video here probably sometime next week, so you can actually hear what he's saying about it. And yeah, it's great.
So
like
cool.
the amount of work that went into this, it just looks so good.
It looks great, and that's really the goal of the stuff that we make. We really try to make. Yeah, anytime we see a way that you could accomplish something at home that is something that you see in theaters, we try to make it happen for you, and hopefully in the easiest way possible too. Hello to Sunny Naguri in the chat.
Sorry if I got distracted. I got a call from my wife and answered it.
All good. Always take the calls from your wife and thank them for their
spouses are
amazing,
important.
practical props that they will make you of your streaming visual effects show. All right, Seth, are you doing something that we can share? Do you want to share with the class?
Well, I actually need you to teach me how to do this because I'm segueing you into your thing now.
Ah, sounds good. You know that here on VFX and Chill, we would never let you leave empty-handed. And if you are here watching this show today, I am giving away a cool script that I made with an awesome script maker named Nate Lovell. You can find him on AE Scripts, and he's got his own site. I should pull up that site. Because I'm a very prepared person. Let's see.
Show's going pretty smooth for
not having done it for a
first time
month.
back.
Yeah. We've only had like 5 problems.
Oh man, you should have seen us about 20 minutes out from the show. That was wild. I didn't remember, what end of the mouse to use, or
Yeah, he was just like.
Does the
chewing
cord go?
anything.
Does the
It was
cord
weird.
go forward? Does the cord go back?
ridiculous. So please do check out NT Productions on YouTube. Nate
Anti Productions
does-
IG on Instagram.
and that as well. There we are, right there. And tremendously detailed script writing tutorials, which are really nicely laid out, so you can see the script writing, you can see the what the things do. And I was trying to put together something based on these, and then at some point I just reached out and said, hey, I can't figure it out, can you help me with this? And Nate basically wrote it in a few minutes and sent it to me, and we tweaked it. So let me tell you what this thing is all about. I'm going to open a sample comp so I can show you. Probably don't save, I'm going to guess.
Probably. Well, let's hope.
Let's hope. All right, so what we've got here is... let me just make sure these are all set up nicely to work here. All right, so here I have a nice After Effects project, and this is a very standard thing that you might do. You'll have a clip, and then you 3D track it, and we're all pretty familiar with this stage. And a lot of the time when you're 3D tracking something, you can select a bunch of points like that, and you can create a solid just wherever, and it'll add a solid to that section. Now, the first thing you should remember is that you can already get one of our awesome free scripts called Normalize Track Script, which is a very, very useful tool for taking After Effects' crazy camera data and trying to make it a normalized scale and size. And so all the numbers that you're working with are much cleaner. So this next little script works really well with that, and I call it the 3D plane stamp. It's right over here in this little window right here. So I believe that, let's see, if you want, Michael, you can post that bit.ly link. It's like bit.ly 3D stamp or something like that. Here's how it works. So 3D track a scene like this, and then you'll end up with the little solids like this. And one thing I've always wanted to be able to do, and we did a little bit on one of our finale shows last season, I was working on a Singin' in the Rain clip, and I needed to erase the head, and so I thought it would be nice if I could just take the texture that's behind this solid and somehow put it on the solid. And the hack
Because you're going to need that part of the background later. You've got it clean here.
Exactly.
Can we just paste it in place? Wouldn't that be handy?
Yeah, like content-aware fill is pretty good at stuff like that, but also not always great for like a nice planar surface because it catches all these weird distortions and stuff. And so my hack was, I was like, okay, I guess if you went to something like PowerPin with the effect disabled, say you had, pins that were kind of exactly aligned with every point of this thing, like that. If you had this corner pin, and then you turned it on, but also checked it to unstretch, now you'd be getting a texture that technically is exactly where this one was supposed to be. So all you got to do now is save that image, re-import it, align it with this, and scale them the same. And I thought that feels like the work for
Devils.
yes. Like, no one should be forced to do that with all
Where
those
comes
steps.
the devil?
So here's how the script works. Really easy. If you 3D tracked a scene and you have a solid like this, and you want it to be the texture of the background there,
I do.
you select that solid, and now you press the 3D stamp. Stamp this plane.
Hold on. Dear God.
Ah,
Wait a second.
well, it looks like nothing's happened.
It looks like
Hashi.
nothing's happened. But if you'll watch me scroll forward, you'll notice
What?
that something weird is happening here, and that's because the script exported the frame that was clean of this door, and then put it right back exactly where the 3D layer was. And
That's so smooth.
it's crazy. It's super fast. I ended up writing some delays on it, which are sort of, it takes, this can work instantly, but After Effects writing this frame, sometimes it takes longer than the script does to run. So I tried to build in some smart delays to it, which are things like how many pixels wide is your image and what is the bit depth of it, and each of those add a few nanoseconds onto the process time. And that so far has made it work for all sorts of resolutions of stuff. So that's it. It's really, really simple. So like, here's another example. I've motion tracked this, and I've got these 3 planes kind of throughout. And you can just highlight any one of them you want, press the 3D stamp. It automatically saves this image, puts it right back in place, and hides the other copy. And I can scroll forward to like this one, press the stamp button, it'll stamp it, put it down like that. And now I can go to this third one, some clean frame like this, and press stamp. It grabs that panel, puts it right back. And it hid all of the original solids, which is nice. It made them shy right under that. And they should be right in alignment with your 3D track. So while this isn't picture perfect, you'll notice like there's some parallax stuff happening because this is actually several planes of depth. But when you're working with something nice and flat like a wall, it's really useful because I feel like that's the kind of thing that content-aware fill can be weird at. Because I know that these lines should all be straight, but content-aware fill may make them a little bit faded on top of each other or a little bit scraggly. So yeah, please go ahead and grab that script, throw it, you can either run it externally if you want, or if you're comfortable, throw it into your script UI panel folder, which is, where would we call that? That's under, Adobe,
C drive,
After Effects.
program files. Yeah.
Oops, I just ran my darned program. Support files, scripts, and script UI panels. 3D plane stamp. Just put it right there, just like that, and you'll have this nice dockable window that you can put anywhere. It doesn't take up much room, same as the normalized track thing, and you can just have it for any time you want to do this. So Seth, I see that
Hash,
you're maybe
is it
playing
only
it with
do you only perceive it as like basically using it to paint out subjects in front of walls and stuff, or are there other applications for it too?
One thing that Darren Frankovitz pointed out that would be kind of neat with something like this is that you could, if you wanted to, say, let's export a Maxon Cinema 4D file, and say we'll save this as the parkour sample. And I don't have Cinema open right now. Oh, I still have my old Cinema pinned there. Oh, well.
Old Cinema.
There's a newer version, Cinema 4D
with a new splash screen.
2023. Oh,
2023.
and I love that splash screen too.
Such a nice splash screen. I mean, this one's good too. Like
it is,
but it's every time there's a new
I did
fresh.
have it open. I have it open from when I was trying my. I was trying to originally do the VFX and Chill simulation of what my wife was able to do in less time than I could figure out. So let me go ahead and open this project up. Where did I save it? Script for Nate. I think it saves it in here, right? So check this out. So you could export this to Cinema 4D. Now, I did add a background object to this one. This is how it will come in. It'll come in with your 3D track camera from After Effects, but with the textures from those cards. So if you needed a pretty good guide to suddenly start working in Cinema and know exactly what part of your geometry is in here.
That's very handy.
And this would be basically like if you had started a 3D track and you didn't think you were going to get that 3D, so you skipped Cinema as the 3D tracker and jumped right into After Effects. Or if you're like me, and I'm more comfortable with the tracker in After Effects than the camera tracking in Cinema. And so, I mean, they've honestly made it a lot easier, so I don't really have an excuse now. But you can do this and throw in a background object with that footage layer, and now... Like, look at this. Like right here in Cinema, I have this great place that I could just go to, like the asset browser, and what's something cool? What's a audience?
T-Rex.
A T-Rex.
A tree rex.
Tree Rex. All right, let's throw in a T-Rex here.
Can I also say how nice it is the asset browser is actually fast now?
Actually fast.
It is
fast.
Yeah, there's nothing
The
less fun than
fastest
waiting
browser?
for a...
Nothing.
Whoops. Oh, what is that? Oh, that's the... Why am I not... Oh, I'm bringing in the image media. Not the 3D model.
Perfect.
Okay, come on. There you are. This
There's
is what I
T-Rex.
wanted. Hey, T-Rex. Okay.
Hey, it's me.
I'm a T-Rex.
All right, so let's grab this and
It's
copy
me,
that.
Rex.
Come over to a parkour sample. Let's delete that weird image there, and then paste T-Rex in here. So cool. Let's see. I got to switch that to moving the object with its animation, right? No? What am I trying to do?
We're back.
We're back.
Yes. This is using C motion to drive the walk cycle of the
excuse me?
dinosaur.
So,
What?
C motion.
so
It's the character motion rigging setup, so you can set up not automatic, but easily loopable movement. And so you need to tell it to stop putting it there in the C motion rig.
all right. I don't know how to do that.
You just put it in a null. And
Well,
move
just
the
pull
null?
just pull them out then, so you can have them just in the scene without the animation.
Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, I love that. Look at this tail moving along when I flip him through the air. So I can just like set a T-Rex right there.
Our
Whoa.
chomp.
And now I could render it in Redshift, knowing that it'll marry perfectly with my After Effects camera, and that the track will be perfectly shared between the two of them. So
That's so handy.
so many possibilities, especially if you're more savvy than I am. But like, I just want it to erase raptor heads from Singing in the Rain instead of having to do it manually.
Now, I will
They're
say,
ready.
if you are needing some proper projection mapping stuff, Cinema 4D has a pretty nice projection man and other tool set in there. You can actually, when you can actually track the scene and get scene geometry out of the scene using the camera tracker data, and it can actually build the walls and floor and stuff for you in Cinema 4D, which is pretty handy.
That sounds pretty handy. Now, would some place like Cineversity teach us how to use Projection Man?
Please.
Uh-huh. Yes, Cineversity has tons of content on that. If our Maxon training team folks were here and not at IBC, I'm sure they would be giving us links in the chat right now.
Yes, we have scattered our training team across the globe to make
Yeah,
sure
we got
that
folks. We got folks at IBC right now, folks here in VFX and Chill, and folks at Half Res. So there's a lot of motion design and VFX stuff going on right now.
I don't know.
it's
Half
wild.
Res was still going on. That's fun.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Seth,
It's still in Chicago.
Yes, Half Res is happening today in Chicago.
Nice.
can we find out if this script is simple enough that even a Seth Worley could use it?
Yeah, I didn't shoot a plate that was useful for its use. I was kind of how you say not using it correctly, but uh, I did make this little thing. I was just messing around with it, and
Oh, that's great.
yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it though, because I thought, well, if I pre-comped it and brought it in here, but then it's like all warped, and I'm not really sure what I can do with it, but it's exciting and promising.
It is. So that's one
Oh,
of the
you
good
were thinking
reasons
of
to
reversing
use.
it and fussing with it. Gotcha.
Yeah, like that's one reason to use the normalized track and have it so your solid is pretty aligned with the geometry
Oh
to
wait, I
begin
did use
with.
normalized track.
How about how did you have your plane rotated before it went in?
Let me try again.
Because one nice
So,
thing is like you get pretty square maps out of it. Oh, I'm doing stuff on my screen that no one can see.
so if I'm here and I go set ground plane and origin,
Hmm.
create solid in camera,
And now
and
take that, grab the gizmos, the Z gizmos of that, and just rotate it until you feel like it's a little bit more square before you rename it wall, and then press the normalize
can I
track.
scale it?
You can scale it if you'd like.
Will that mess it up?
Luckily, no, because Joe from Workbench is a genius
Joe
and
from
runs a check for
Workbench.
that. And also the script from Nate makes sure to check for this kind of a thing too. It doesn't matter if the solids dimensions are different than the comp dimensions and things like that. It runs some quick checks ahead of time, which is
Oh, you know what I
great.
also haven't gotten a chance to try yet is that fix that Adobe went and did for us on the face tracking.
They sure did. When Seth found one of the a little data bug in Adobe's face tracking
Data
data,
bug.
we just called up our old friends at Adobe, and I think it's fixed now.
Databug.
Little data bug.
Databug.
All right. So,
All right.
do I select the camera too when I do normalized track? I haven't
You
used
don't
it
need
enough.
to. Just rename the solid wall.
Wall. Okay.
There you go. And now press normalize track.
I did it.
Nice. And
Now,
it should look like nothing's happened, but what's
yep.
nice is that should be the center of the comp now. And now you can press 3D stamp, and now you'll get a nice, very square kind of thing here.
Okay. So then, wait a minute. What happened? What the heck? Oh. What am I? Oh, never mind. I see. Never mind.
There you
My
go.
brain died. Leave all attributes. And now it is much
There we
more
go.
square.
Much squarisher. Now what had to happen is it's squished in the same way that your solid was squished because it tries to bring in the exact same corner points. And so if your solid is naturally taller than wide or whatever, it's fine. So one suggestion I would have is to do it always square, and then you'll know that if you're going to edit this image in here or in Photoshop or whatever thing of your choosing, you can do that. And
The image spits out at the aspect ratio of the plate or what of the
of the
comp?
solid. So if you look at the dimensions of that solid,
Yeah.
it's probably an HD thing. Or no, I guess
Oh,
at the I'm sorry, you're right, at the dimensions of the comp.
it does. Okay. Cool.
So
Cool.
there you
Cool.
go. So lots of fun, really cool. Thank you so much, Nate, for building that. It's really incredible. And I am going to do a proper, very short, cheap tricks explaining the tool and giving it away through proper channels. But since you all showed up today, I figure that we should get that out to you.
That's
We
exciting.
like giving you sneak peeks of things.
We do.
Sneak peek. Real quick, I'm gonna record my face and see if it fixed the thing. It really did fix the thing.
Ooh, all right. We're
New
putting
movie
Adobe to the
recording.
test here on VFX and Chill.
Here
Take
we
the
go.
Adobe challenge.
We're gonna go this way. Oh, let's move the mic. Here we go.
Let's see. I want to see this in full screen.
This way. This way.
Seth is recording a little bit of a video of himself so he can run the advanced face tracker
All right.
for a tool that you did preview that on the show, right? At the end
I
of
did,
last
like
season?
maybe the last episode of season 2 of my episode.
Oh, speaking of tracking, the Maxon Moves app now does the face and body tracking. So if you have an iPhone and you want to get a nice 3D track of your face or your body,
Really?
go for it. Yeah.
What if I wanted to do a track of your face and your body?
Well, then
You should ask permission.
come get me.
Yeah. Let's see.
That is amazing. And if you're curious about the
I'm an hour away, Seth. You can film me anytime. We still never met in real life.
You could leave at the beginning of the broadcast, and then.
Wait, did you say you and I have never met in real life?
Have we?
Yeah, dude. I talked
yeah.
your ear off in NAB years ago.
That's right. But not since we've been in the company.
Yeah. I met you in person once. Oh, wait, I did this wrong.
It is fun when you can meet people in person. Let me see if
Tracking my face.
Lovely. If you do want to see a cool summary of all of the new stuff that Maxon released, you can definitely watch the beginning of this video when Michael lays out pretty much all of it. Or you can also go to see the actual announcement for it, which is really great because we've got Dave and Rick and Ellie and Chad all talking about new cool features, and Garrett talking about Forger.
Oh yeah, Forger has polygonal solid modeling now. It's the only, as far as I'm aware, only iPad app that lets you do actual like hard surface modeling. Because there's a few other sculpting apps out there, but Forger has a bunch of updates to the sculpting, and now it uses Cinema 4D's polygonal modeling toolset, so you can actually like full on model.
So yeah, if you want to sculpt something different than like a more different potato, grab Forger. It's really cool.
It's included with your Maxell One subscription, so grab your Apple Pencil and go to crazy.
Ooh, yeah. All right, so Seth, what did you just do there that created all those keyframes?
Track my face. I also just realized I didn't do this in the beta, which might be where the fix is, because look, it's still bottoming out.
Oh yeah, you need to do the beta.
Yeah.
Which is correct. Yeah. So yeah, run your beta versions, people.
Speaking of the beta, the ability to use multiple layers for have multiple layers use the same layer as a track mat is so handy for some of my client projects.
Ah, so cool.
Wait. Multiple track mats to one layer?
Well, you can do that with the calculations effect. You can add and subtract mats using the calculations effect, but that's
Have you always been able to do that?
Yes, in the effect stack.
What?
But I can show you later. I'm using that on a client project right now to drive. It's actually really cool. So you know how Universe Compound Blur. Anyway, don't know. It doesn't matter. But I'm using it so that I have all my text. I've got this really cool graphical background, but I'm using Compound Blur to give it this like kind of grungy, like underneath dirty glass effect. But I wanted there to be extra blur underneath the logos and text that I've got animating in and out, because I want them to be, nice and visible against this kind of detailed background. So I've got all of the layers contributing to a matte that is then being referenced by this other layer that is making the fractal noise and stuff that's driving the universe compound blur effect. And yeah, you can use the calculations effect. So I'm saying I can take the matte from this layer, add the matte from this layer, add the matte from this layer. So this one layer has all those mattes added together. But that's not what I'm talking about. And that's in the effects stack, and you have to have the layers be matching up, just like set matte. But if you want just regular track matte effects outside of the effects stack, like regular track mattes, now in the beta, you don't have to have the layers on top of each other. And you you just say, hey, just like picking a parent, you say, hey, this layer is the track matte, Luma matte, inverted, alpha matte.
How did that take so long for us to get to that?
It's a huge fundamental change in how track mats work under the hood. Like, it's a massive change. They had to do a lot of work on it, apparently, as I was talking to them. But what that means is that you can say, I want all of these layers to use this one layer as a track mat. So you can have like 10 different layers be masked out by one layer moving in, and it works like a track mat. So it doesn't matter the size of the layers. It works just like a track mat because that's what it is. So it doesn't matter if you got, scale the layer down or whatever. It's still going to act right because it's a track mat. Very handy for motion graphic stuff. Like, I used it for show for these massive LED screens, and I was having a bunch of text and stuff come on the screens. Then like one big graphical element would come on and wipe all of them away, and at the same time reveal new stuff because you can set it as an inverted track mat too because it's a track mat. So it's revealing all these things and hiding all these things all in one fell swoop, and it's so handy. It's one of my favorite new features in the beta. But colored keyframes just came out of beta, and is another one of my favorite features.
So
well,
cool.
I am downloading the new current beta because I realize I'm not updated yet, and then I'm going to open it and try this. All these things.
I'm sorry, folks, if you're not as excited about this stuff as I am in the chat, but having workflow boosters like that can save me like duplicating 20 different layers is like, I get so excited.
It's amazing.
Well, it's like when Takes and came out in Cinema 4D, like it literally saved me days of work on a project, and I was like, thank you so much, Maxon.
Yes, but it also wasted a half my day learning that they existed, and that's why I was.
That's the Maxon promise, is that like it will,
oh no,
it will simplify.
We can't say that.
Simplify your life if you pay attention.
Yeah,
that's what it is. But if you're Seth, you're screwed always.
Amazing, I love it. Well, I think that we have talked about a bunch of. We've caught up a bit on what everyone was up to this summer, except for Michael. Really, we know that. Michael will be up at Camp Mograph in a little while.
I will be at Camp Mograph.
And worked on some Disney movies and stuff. Whatever.
One Disney special. one shot. I mean, I did some look deaf for another shot to help him out, but mostly there's this one scene where I did a lot of particle work.
That's lovely.
Nice.
I've been doing nothing exciting. I've been doing new.
You've been assimilating into your new Canadianness.
It's true. I am more and more Canadian every day, and you can see my transition.
Did you make a flamethrower for your children?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
that some people thought was real.
Ruffled some feathers, didn't you?
I did ruffle some feathers.
So it's a great toy, just in and of itself. It's a great toy, but then when you add super comp on top of it,
and
add some actual fire,
is what we learned. Especially if it has anything to do with the interwebs. I will pull up a very simple. I consider it a toy. But,
it is a toy.
You know,
it's a leaf blower with like ribbon on it, or a cloth.
It's a toy.
It. It's brilliant.
All right, here we are. Up. Oh geez, a lot of people liked these videos apparently. So let me find my screen here. So I decided that it would be fun to
God, so cool.
To attach this really cool silk scarf to a leaf blower.
It's a ton of fun. Like that looks like the kids
so
are having
cool.
a blast. I would have a blast with that, and I'm not, if I were a kid, and I'd have a blast with it now, and I'm not a kid. That looks like so much fun to play with.
Did you already have the orange and red silk scarf?
I did actually. This is another thing that happened.
It's part of his fall look.
As a
part of his fall look. This we cut to like our fall episodes of VFX and Chill. You're wearing that scarf, and I never noticed.
We slay, as we said before.
So here is just, taking a color mat to grab that shape. And once I grabbed the shape, I was able to content-aware fill erase it and then put the shape back, but with some cool glows and extra particles and stuff like that to make it a little bit more fiery, but also semi-transparent and stuff. And that was really fun. So a lot of people watched this. 7.3 million watched this.
Jeez.
One and that.
That's only a little bit more than.
Hey,
Harry
look
stuff.
at those.
Hey, look at those cuties.
Amazing. Here's
and
my
that guy.
Twitter feed. Yeah. See, no one liked that we did totally harmless and fun stuff with it. They liked the one where James was chasing everyone around. So here's an exciting. Maxon Japan there. Retweeting.
But they were quoting they were the Newsweek article, which was.
Oh yeah, New York Post, baby.
So New York Post loved it. Newsweek
had some things to say. They wanted to know, like, where do you get off with this? With your
you
toys
go back and read that headline. That headline, Dad invents flamethrower for kids to play with at home, is just
Not
That
what
coupled with the VFX shot, not the real shot.
Yes. See, that's journalism, everyone. Look at it.
No, that's the modern journalism where they have to get you to click.
Mm-hmm. We got your
That's
click.
so funny.
See you later. Anyway, that's what I was up to this summer, apparently. Doing
That was
stuff like
good.
that. So, I know that this is a show about us recreating visual effects from things.
Oh yeah.
It turns out. But yeah, this week I was just especially excited to catch up with Seth because Seth has been gone from our lives for so long, and that's a sad place to not.
I'm
have.
always with you, Hashi. I've never gone too long.
Thanks. Oh,
Doing
look at-
this.
Doing this.
I'm always with you doing this. Moving my face around with weird dots all over it.
Yeah, it's the only photo I had of you in my wallet. It had all the facial tracking markers on it, but you know it's significant to me.
So let's see now. Face measurements, face orientation.
This is all the data you can rip out of your face.
Whoa, look!
There it is.
It's not flat anymore. So before this, whenever it went into the negative, it would bottom out at 0, and these keyframes would be flat. Now, thanks to whoever it was at Adobe that was emailing with us and Christine Goldby, it became. Oh, why am I talking? Hang on. Let's turn that off. No, thank you. Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
All right.
So-
do you still have RBF there in
Yeah.
your?
I do, but I don't. It's not using the 3D, but it's going to soon. So, RBF. Let's just what can I grab here? Let me real quick just drop this in here and cut this off. Cut this out real quick. Wait, not the
Oh,
neck.
yes.
I always accidentally start following the neck whenever I do this on a person or anything. All right. So now, it actually looks really cool. I'm gonna position this wherever I want in here, and I'm gonna add. Let's see if RBF still works. Actually, I don't need RBF. Well, okay, so it was RBF and SOB, I believe, and RBF was cool, but SOB ended up being the more useful, more powerful thing. So real quick, let's just see what RBF. Remind everybody what RBF does. Is if I drop RBF. Oh no, is it not in my? Would it not be
Maybe you upgraded and it's no longer in.
in the beta?
You need to copy your
Yeah.
presets from your regular to the beta.
That's a thing? Okay, hold on.
You don't have to
Well, if
restart
you-
though. You
if
can just
you-
install it.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's good.
Wait,
And
how
I
do
don't
I
know
do
if you
that?
could
Just
save-
drag them in?
Do it.
Try it and
Just
see.
drag them in. Get in there. The folders. I'm
Nothing
gonna. Did you exit out of the effects browser and then go back into it so it has a second to catch up with itself?
Oh, I see. Okay. I was dragging it into After Effects. Sorry, hang on. SOB, copy, presets, paste, and I may have to reset it.
All right. Let me
You
know.
may have to, I can't
I've-
remember.
I've cut away from us so you can
Okay, I'll quit. real
flounder in
quick.
silence.
Ha!
Amazing.
Me
Yeah.
open it.
I don't know what. Yeah, has anybody seen any good movies lately that they want to know how they did effects? I know that we
Well-
had a whole summer worth of movies in theory, but
I want to
I
watch
can't remember
you
a
guys'
single movie.
I didn't get to watch you guys' Nope episode that you did without me. I've since
Oh.
seen Nope and really want to see what you guys did.
Excellent.
Oh, the Nope episode was fun.
That was fun. I don't remember if we have our results from that somewhere. Let me.
I don't think so.
Okay, here's RBF. I drop it on.
Oh wait.
Whoa, that's maybe not working the way it used to. Wow, hang on. It is not doing what I originally planned for it to do. Well, it kind of is. Okay. I need a better example here to show what RBF does. This. Never mind. Switch away from me.
So this was a little shot that I put together for the Nope episode.
Oh yeah, I did see the result, and it's so good.
Yeah, mine was Pirates of the Caribbean with aliens attacking the ship,
Also
which was
phenomenal.
a ton of fun and was all just the beam effect and super calm. And it stupidly worked way better than it should have. Like, if folks, when this episode's done, go watch that when the link's in the chat. It was stupidly easy with super comp to just put alien laser blasts into the pirate movie.
Oh
I was very proud of your result. It was fantastic.
I should put that up on social somewhere. I never ended up like fully finishing it because when the show was over, I went and played with the kids and stuff and forgot to go back and fix it.
Boo kids,
boo kids.
Okay, so we're being asked for the however many time about a certain Dragon Ball Z effect. I think that this request has followed us around. The request comes today from Tim Kramer, and may have
Andrew Kramer.
Tim Kramer.
Oh, his brother Tim the Toolman Kramer.
Mm-hmm. Who, and as we know, Andrew's a busy guy. I won't show Tim how to do this effect, so I don't even know what this is. It's the
Kamehameha.
Kamehameha. All right.
Kamehameha. I think this would be fairly easy to make with trap code particular.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this is. Okay. So if
you're
I'm
about
sorry,
to
children,
see.
if I show something horrible. I don't know.
No, it's like
Dragon Ball Z.
I like to just pull up internet videos and play them to audiences live whenever I have the opportunity. Okay, so it's like a standard.
It's just an energy. It's just an energy
What's
ball.
that thing?
That
Yeah.
you can't put together based on everything we've done on this show how to do this.
Well,
Watch
this one's a little involved.
Watch my Sonic tutorial. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you could. There's a lot of different ways to.
let's-
It's basically like Hadouken from Street Fighter 2.
Okay. I just want to see maybe if there's a more generic version of it.
There's one there where it's less snaking around.
Well, first of all,
Oh my
Production Crate has some cool 2D anime style sprites.
There you go.
And there is something. So this thing?
No, hang on. Thought he was going to do it.
Oh,
It's
I got
just
by the way.
really, it's just an energy blast.
With so much light.
I mean, it is. I feel like we're going to use shine and optical glow a lot.
Okay, so
Why would you ever punch if you have energy blasts? Anyway,
that's like the toy of Superman's mech suit that came out with the first wave of like Superman Returns movies or something like that. Okay, so how do we do this Kamehameha effect? I'm sure that's disrespectful.
Kamala Harris? Is that what you said? Hey, hold on. I have to take a phone call. Give me 1 second.
Take it,
Fine,
Hollywood.
we're watching aliens fight each other with energy beams. There you go. There.
Well, you just use
just make the screen
overlight.
just a white
use
solid
overlight.
and make it white.
Wow.
Okay, so
It's proving to be a very easy effect so far.
so Tim, what is the specific
Wrong with you?
effect?
Why can't you just figure this out?
Is it this moment?
Well, that's just a white solid.
I just need to understand what I want a good example of what the effect is, because these clips,
Garbage.
I'm sure are really cool. Maybe in a situation, then they might do it more often in the thing. Like this shield thing is kind of cool looking.
It says
The
the
shield thing is
beam.
cool. That shield thing is definitely Ecto. I did that sort of effect in the 3D motion show presentation where I just bumped the alpha out a little bit and used Ecto to get kind of a shield-like. Well, it wasn't a shield-like look; it was more like a scanny look. But
Okay,
yeah,
so-
you could so do that shield thing with Ecto.
So is it just the?
The first clip. He said the beam in the first clip.
The beam in the first clip was about right. Okay, that was, I think, this one. And we're just going to show some ads for some of my local farmers markets. Okay, so let's watch this effect one more time. Oh, Dragon Ball Z video game to see it in 3D. That's a good idea, actually. Sometimes video games are a great way that they simplify and figure out.
That.
So this kind of a thing?
Yeah, you've done this.
I mean, the beam effect, ecto.
Or beam.
Wait, let me see here. So, you know what it makes me want to use is, let's see, where's some stock footage of the right thing here? Don't I have? Let's see. I must have a wide angle stock footagey thing. Let's
Takak Stanny, if you have a question about trap code particular, feel free to ask it in the chat.
Oh yes, please ask any of your questions here in the chat. I'm
asking to ask the question is not helpful. Asking the question is helpful. Go for it. We're happy to answer it because I can answer the question while Hashi's working. It happens a lot in an online forum. Someone says, "Can I ask a question about blank?" And it's like, yes, please do.
Wait, what am I thinking of? What is that? Is it a generator? No.
What are you trying to do?
What's our arrow tool called?
Line.
That's why.
Oh, line with ecto. Yeah, that would be good.
So line, everyone, is a cool tool that has a nice 2-point control like this. Or you can also switch it to have the Bezier be, right now it's an auto curve. You could also make it a 3-point curve where you just have one other thing influence it like that. You can choose to put a shape on the end of it like this. So right now the primary line has a circle on one end and a triangle on the other.
But technically it has nothing on the other end by default. That triangle follows the draw on point.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So you can have a dot and a target, for example, and then the arrow follows. So you can have 3 shape things, one at the beginning, one at the end, and one that follows the draw on part.
So this just somewhat reminded me of a really simple way to control some shape like this, because you could do a couple of different things here. You can have the primary line be white like this, and I can make the stroke width a little wider, and then I can also draw a secondary line, which would be like, let's see, so let's add a dashed secondary line like this. Let's make it like blue or whatever. I'm not going to do the colors right. You can sample your own colors. So
I like this. I like this
damn it.
blue to green. It's blue to green, which is going to look amazing.
So we'll make the width really thin on these because I just want it to be like a little dot every so often like this.
Oh, I gotcha. I see what you're doing.
I love this is just a wide angle shot of the Kamala.
It's when it like comedically cuts wide, so the always cut wide on the you know, let your action beats play in the wide.
Speaking of action beats, if you want to check in with my screen,
yes,
figured
let's
out
check it out.
RBF and SOB.
Oh,
yes!
There you go.
Look at that.
So real quick,
with
just
a power
to,
like this, you could be
curing cancer.
You could be this.
I want to turn people into dinosaurs.
I just want to turn people into dinosaurs. So I did the face track with After Effects, obviously, and with detailed features on, and by just drawing a mask on my face and then tracking it with detailed features on, and then I get this right. So then what I go do is so RBF was made because you and I were like sticking things to people's faces, and I wanted a way to quickly just easily stabilize the face. And so RBF, you drop it onto a layer that has face tracking already on it, and it will stabilize that face to the best of its ability. So you can like stick stuff on it.
Look at that.
But after making that, I was like, what? I don't want to make a preset just for that stage. Like I want to actually, what if I can make something I could drop onto the target layer, and that target layer could just immediately stick to whatever layer I designate that has face tracking on it. So SOB was born, which I just dropped this little 2-dimensional flat image here. Keep it 2D, and say SOB, and I drop it onto there, and I say the face layer is going to be this plate here that's been tracked, and now it automatically tracks it to the face without anything having to be done.
Select the layer, and it knows. It knows. It's great.
So what's really fun now is that since After Effects fixed this issue with the tracking points, like and the orientation stuff, I can actually 3Dify this, which, by the way, your thing won't break if this is a 3D layer. If you're working in a layer you need it to be 3D, just make it 3D, and it still sticks. But here's the thing. I can also just like keep duplicating this and like, by the way, and like adding lots of them and move it wherever I want, and they will always stay stuck and parented to the face. Here's the thing. I now basically what I'm trying to say is the orientation stuff's been fixed, so now I can actually bring this into a real 3D space and I can stick stuff to a face and have it actually be moving in 3D. I'm very excited about this. It's going to be cool.
It's very, very cool.
All right, bye.
So cool. So we just it's very fun to make a tool if you don't have one that does exactly what you need, especially for just complicated processes. Like we did an episode where we did, I think it was our face-off episode where we played with some of this, and we also, I think at some point, maybe for our Hulk episode. Our Hulk episode, we talk about the way you reverse engineer the data connected to a tracker so you can get a null that's attached to your face. But all of that stuff is just are extra steps, and the more extra steps you can remove from things, the better.
Extra
and
little
the more
steps.
pterodactyl faces we can put on things,
that's the important.
The better.
That's the important part.
Ryan Noggenbaugh says they would like to see an episode about the custom transitions that I described earlier. Oh, it would take me, if I have to share my screen, like 5 minutes. It would not be an episode's worth of stuff. It's literally as simple as one layer masks out stuff while revealing other stuff. That's really all it is. You can do it for a ton of different things for motion and graphics reasons. It's just a handy transition. You could have like a wave moving across and then a little layer behind being your masky thing. So your wave is the footage and this little mask just follows it and it wipes off the previous thing and shows the new thing. It's very handy. I was using it to, excite corporate numbers.
Amazing. Oh, I like that.
I like
what we got going on here. Look.
Yeah.
Look at
this is the best part.
You have become a Snapchat.
Here's the thing. I just realized I don't know if I know how to use this with SOB because I'm using the transform effect to create the SOB movement. So I don't know how to parent like a bulge effect to that unless you guys have any ideas.
Just use an expression.
There's some. I guess I don't know if the bulge. I can't remember if bulge has a rotation property on it.
I don't think it does.
Annoyingly. But you could use a transform sandwich to give it rotation.
That's true. If
transform sandwich
is.
Transform sandwich.
Jake in Motion does a really good, straightforward video on that. And Michael demonstrated this.
There's a free script on from Battle Axe that does it. And works with K-Bar. I have it on a K-Bar button. So I think I know
where you're going with this.
You put a transform effect, whatever effects you want to have rotation that don't have rotation, then another transform effect, and that second one is negative rotation of the top one with expression. So you rotate the top one. So if you want your mosaic to be triangles, you rotate the layer with the transform effect, not the transform properties on the layer, mind you. Okay. Rotate with the transform effect, apply mosaic, then rotate it back, and suddenly you've got mosaic, but triangles. You can use it for so many things.
Oh man, that's transform sandwich is exactly how I'm going to do this. You geniuses!
I
love it. That sounds great.
Highly recommend it. It's called. I think BattleX calls it a transform sandwich, but it's very useful for when there's an effect that doesn't have rotation that you really want it to. So like the fast blur, for example, the fast blur effect can blur vertical or horizontal, but not any diagonals. You just tuck that in between two transform effects. I mean, so really in this case, it's an effect sandwich with transform bread, but that's beside the point. So Andrew Kramer, I think, is one of the first tutorials I saw where someone used it. He used it in the grid one to get diamonds out of the find edges effect, I believe. So
Diamonds.
you did mosaic, find edges, and that was tucked between the transform sandwich. So you got these cool techie looking diamonds and lines around lightning effect because he's using the advanced lightning.
That is cool. I love seeing stuff. Yeah, I love After Effects being used in ways that it wasn't meant to be, as the famous saying goes.
Well, I mean, that's they build it to do things it's not built to do. Like they on purpose make it as extensible as possible, which some people grump about. Like why don't they just make good tools? Well, because people use it for a bajillion different things. Like After Effects is being used for a lot more than what you use it for. Person who was complaining, and so them building such a build uponable tool means that everyone can use it for what they want.
It's true. It's ridiculous. I'm trying to think. That's gonna. That's what.
The question now is,
I think you've doubled up. Wah.
no, I didn't double up. I placed SOB onto an adjustment layer. So now I'm trying to figure out if I can.
Let's see. Here's a nerdy question. Let's see. Oh, did you freeze, Seth?
No,
Oh, no, you're lost
sorry,
in
I'm
thought.
thinking. I know what to do. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, so let's see. Here's a nerdy AE question. What's with the N shortcut to set the work area out point? It's like beginning and end. BN, I think. It sounds like beginning and end. That's what I always assumed.
Oh, they're saying they wanted to set the frame before the playhead, not on the playhead.
Oh, well, it's because whatever your playhead is on, it's showing that frame, including what's contained in the next container. So I understand that you want it to chop from there and behind, but...
I know you could make it do that. You could change in the keyboard shortcut editor. You can change so the end keyboard shortcut runs a custom script that goes back a frame, activates the command, then goes back forward a frame.
Ooh.
It'd be a very simple script to say, move the playhead back a frame, trim the layer, go forward a frame, and then you could just because you can tie scripts to keyboard shortcut commands. So you would hit N, and then your little custom script would fire off, Brian. So just peek a little bit into After Effects scripts, and you should be able to figure this one out.
That's great.
Any hidden shortcut keys we recommend? Oh yes, X. If you've got a bunch of layers on your screen, like you're doing a big motion graphics piece, you've got text and icons everywhere, and you want to adjust something on a layer, you don't have to go scrolling endlessly through your timeline that's got hundreds and hundreds of layers in it. You just click on it in your composition window and hit the X key, and it scrolls the timeline panel to the selected layer.
That's a good one.
Alt-Shift clicking on properties. So I animate a lot with rotation, but I don't want the orientation on the screen. That's annoying. And frequently, I only want one or two rotation parameters if I'm working in 3D. So I hit R for rotation, and I Alt-Shift click on the orientation and whatever axes I don't want to see. Alt-Shift clicking on a property hides it in the timeline panel. So if you're animating something and you hit U to reveal all your animated things, but you only need to adjust a couple of the properties, you can Alt-Shift click or Option-Shift click on Mac on the properties you don't want to see, and they disappear. Nice way to clean up your timeline so you can more easily move between a bunch of layers that you're trying to animate together without seeing properties you don't want to see.
That sounds good to me.
If you're wanting to set... I should probably back up on this one. So if you want to fade out an effect or make it only happen in a certain section on your frame, there are compositing options on every effect in your timeline. I know some people are like, the fill effect has opacity in it, but I want the fill effect's opacity, not the whole layer. Well, you can apply the fill effect and then use the compositing options of the fill effect to make the fill effect less opaque. But the compositing options are only found in the timeline panel at the bottom of the effect control.
Let's see.
You twirl down the effect, and it's at the very bottom.
So so for example, if I wanted to generate a grid or something like that.
Right, but
so
you just want it
generating
to be
the grid,
half
but you're like, oh no, I want it to be in the mask or something.
Right. Yeah.
guess
Put a mask on the layer real quick.
So-
That'll be a good way to do it.
So
yeah.
wait a second, I want it to be in the mask. The mask, why not? But there is a way. Check it out. I know it's a little bit small on here, but check it out. Under Effects, I'll open up Grid, and then right down at the bottom, Compositing Options.
And you hit the plus
Cool,
key,
right?
and it adds a mask.
Watch. Ba-boop.
Boom. masked the effect only. But here's the thing. You saw how long it took Hashi to get down there. Imagine you've got a bunch of effects on your layer.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is double click on the property or on the effect in the effect control panel, and it'll open that effect in the timeline. So it's a lot handier to get to it if you've got it twirled up and you've got a bunch of effects on it.
Nice. Oh yeah.
All right.
So
those are-
that's great.
Whenever you have a
Those are
second, I have a
three-
problem-solving question for you.
Yes, those plus minus things add masks. You can have like 10 masks on your layer, and you can use all those masks to drive where different effects are happening for all of them. So you can pick 2 masks can drive the effect, 3 masks, and it works with the masks blending modes. So you can add, subtract, mix, whatever. So you can get some really complex stuff happening with masks.
Opacity, which is cool. So like, look at that. So you could do all your compositing within one layer, which is what I was thinking about doing a little bit to try to accomplish that
Kamehameha.
Kamehameha effect.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I'm a
all right.
huge fan of trying to get all your things happening on one layer if you can. And
You can.
stuff like
it's
yeah.
pretty cool, and it'll impress your friends. Seth, may I cut to you?
Yeah. Yes. So
Seth, always up to some monkey business.
So here's the thing. I figured out how to easily use an adjustment layer and get like distortion effects to stick with SOB. And the trick is first applying RBF to, so here, let me see. Applying RBF to the layer, the base layer that I tracked, and keeping it like this, right? So this has stabilized my face and is moving everything else around. And now I realized SOB just reverses. It takes the same calculations, but it's reverse. It's doing the reverse version of what RBF is doing. So if I, in an adjustment layer, apply like all the distortion effects that I want over a frame, and then I add SOB after it, it will then, it's basically a transform sandwich. But here's my question. Because I'm doing it on an adjustment layer, I have now created this beast of a border. And how do I not do that?
Yeah, so now you need the rotation value of the head that's being extrapolated to apply as
because here's the thing, it's not rotation value. Look, like this is just my plate sitting there without anything turned on it. And this is with the adjustment layer with transform. That reverse
apply the CC composite effect, composite behind, include alpha.
So apply it on a composite behind.
That might work.
So I see. So here I'm in the beta and it doesn't have.
Copy your plugins over, man.
I know. CC composite behind.
In back or behind, whatever it's called. See where it says in front? You don't want it to just say not in front.
Whoa.
Ooh.
No, because it.
Oh. I wonder if instead of doing this on an adjustment layer, if I do all of this, this is going to break. If I apply it. Okay, hang on. We can go back to what you were doing, by the way, if you want.
I'm just going to do some After Effects jazz.
Tim, if you're trying to share a link, the YouTube chat does not allow links to come through. So what you're saying is not going to work. Because saying all we see is you saying like this and then nothing. Just so you know.
All right,
Alexander asks, have we actually read any After Effects documentation, or is this all found through trial and error and tutorials?
Well, we have Michael.
I have read through a lot of documentation, yes.
I have read not an ounce of documentation.
Oh, I made it work. I just applied it to the layer itself. So
boom, there you go.
The one layer has base tracking, RBF to stabilize it, a bunch of distortions, and then SOB to set for itself to reverse So it creates the transform sandwich, and it all can happen. I can probably figure out how to
There
make
you
this
go.
one preset.
That's great. So we've got both of these things working: RBF and SOB, rotation by features and stabilize original boundaries. Right? I think,
100%. That's what it
so
stands for. So I could probably make this all one big preset now. Okay. Anyway,
While Seth thanks, I will
That-
expand on my previous answer to you, Alexander, that if you take a little bit of time to learn fundamental foundational things about how After Effects works, it ends up saving you a huge amount of time in the future because you do things a little bit more like you let the tool work for you instead of you frustratedly working, feeling like After Effects is working against you. I've so many times seen someone just struggling to get something done. I'm like, there is a way easier way to do what you're fighting so hard to do. Just because I took a little bit of time early in my career to, like sit down and learn how it worked. It's boring though. Like people always want to jump in with a Andrew Kramer tutorial that makes cool lightning, which is awesome and looks amazing. And his tutorial works for you to get that one effect, and then you can't change it to be what you want because you don't understand anything about how After Effects is actually working. So I avoided that little trap and did the boring stuff, and now I'm able to do things that I want to do more better.
now I am so powerful.
Well, not really. I mean, there's still a lot of trial and error and searching for stuff. I mean, I've looked up my own tutorials before when I'm trying to do stuff.
that's where it's like the Dr. Jones Senior thing, like where like I made a tutorial about it, so I didn't have to remember it anymore. So I can put it out of my head and externalize that knowledge somewhere else.
Yes, like learning loop and time expressions instead of plotted keyframes or thing. Yes,
Yeah.
the offset loop out offset is fantastic.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. I got a white solid. I'm making a grid on it, which I'm setting to width and height sliders like this, just kind of wide like that. I'm putting a wiggle expression on the anchor, so it's basically just like shaky strokes.
Oh, nice.
See, and then
energy.
On
It
top,
feels energetic.
It does. So let's put some turbulent displace on top of it. So we'll put a light, light bit of turbulent displace, and we'll say pin all locked, which will firmly put the two edges right with each other. And I'm going to make the size on this kind of bigger, just so I have a teeny bit of warble, but not a ton. And let's see, I'll add an expression to the evolution that is something like time times, what do we think, folks? Let's try 150 maybe. So that'll be like this. So just kind of random lines like that. And then I'm going to add an additional turbulent displace on top of it. But instead of just turbulent, I'm going to go to vertical displacement. And vertical displacement, basically just up and down, sort of like a little seismograph, or what are those called? Seismometer things.
Yes.
So we'll turn the amount, let's say, to like 40, but let's change the size smaller and smaller and smaller. And suddenly, at some point, well, look at this. Like all the way down, we've got these like nice little roughened edges looking things. But I would rather have them be kind of wider, little shockwavy looking things like that. So sticking up and down like that. And let's see.
That's cool.
And now if I evolve this, it looks like a cool little, thing.
That does look like a cool little thing.
So and I can turn the complexity up of these. There we go. Ooh. Now we're getting into more like hand sketchy kind of thing. And if we wanted to, up on our grid, I have a wiggle expression on it, but I could also add a keyframe to the overall movement of it. So over time, it was kind of, translating a little bit like that. And so now what I get is sort of this thing. And it's going to look really weird at first because it's just sort of, this like weird little worm.
You say weird, I
stuff.
say awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to switch the displace effects actually, like that. And now I could take this whole thing and put it in another comp, which actually I would probably prefer to be HD or whatever. And then on this one, let's try some of our good old friend CC Cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
And now on the lighting, let's go to the shading options and say I want 100% ambient light on this. So
Boom.
now I have this little ridiculous thing here. Actually, I guess I should have gone with a different sized whatchamacallit. But what's cool about CC Cylinder is you could use it to do stuff like position a camera around it. So sorry, my Siri's telling me all sorts of stuff right now. Let's rotate this on the Z-axis so it's pointed in some direction like that. And then let's...
Instead of CC Cylinder, could you use this for a texture on Trapcode DAO so you can really get a
That's a really
complex path? I mean, do this way just to demonstrate the effect, but I bet this would be an amazing texture for DAO.
That's a great call. I'm going to try that right now because no time like the present. DAO, spelled T-A-O. I'm going to open that up right now. Is this plugin. Now, it creates, by default, this is what DAO looks like, and it's this little ring, and it's in 3D. You can see I can move the camera around it. And the ring is there because there's this little thing called the path generator, which is checked right now, and it's set to make a circle. You can set it to make a line, which is kind of cool. So a line is sort of what we're going for here. But in a case like this, with for trying to make some specific like energy weapon thing, what I would probably want is like a cool curved path. And you'll see if I just start to draw a curved path on this layer, DAO is taking this path as a shape directive for a little linear shape there. So I'll uncheck generate the other path, and so I just have this one. And reminder, it's a 3D path. We've used these for some other cool stuff in here before. And let's minimize this. Let's go to our textures. And for the color texture, I'm going to grab that comp. All right, so it wants to be going left to right or whatever. And I'm going to kill these keyframes. I don't like them. But now I have a cool path like that. And sort of like with the CC Cylinder, I can go to the properties of this material and kind of I can maybe turn up its diffuse all the way and ambient lighting, and so there's not actually this fall off here. Let's see. What do I really want? I want no specular. I want no softness on the... Oops. Oh, that was ridiculous. I want the ambient all the way up, and I want the diffuse at... Do I want the diffuse at 0? What do I want there? Alright, here's my 3D shape with that crazy texture on it. And instead of just a triangle, if I go to segment, right now it's an extruded n-gon, and I could change that to have more sides. So I could change it to have like 7 or 8 sides, to the point where, I mean, I know that it's a simplified geometry, but you can kind of see a cool thing going on here. And what are we doing here with the lighting? I'm a little bit confused on this. Why I'm getting... Do I just want 100% diffuse? Why am I getting any lighting on this? Michael, I've forgotten how to do what I'm trying to do. I just want this to be all the way an ambient lit up thing. Why am I not getting that? Classic. We cut now to Seth.
Well, I figured out that with this transform sandwich situation, or this RBF SOB situation, I can put anything in the middle of these two things, like liquefy. I can put in between. I can also put paint in between and paint something on my face and have it stay. What else can I put here?
Hey, I got to
Goodness, like,
duck out.
there's
I got to
the
duck out for a bit to help my spouse back the RV into the driveway. So
Okay.
sounds
Uh,
good.
it's
Will
very
you be back before the
large.
show's over?
It depends on how long he takes to back it in.
All right, back it up, back it in.
Hopefully, I'll be
Let
back
me
before it's over.
end the show.
This last half of the show has been fantastic. So was the first half. It's been a great show. See you in a second.
I'm
Hope-
certainly
halves of you are
hoping
fantastic.
that the entire, like every bit of the visual effects in Sketch can be completed exactly like this.
And will be 100%. Oh, what else can I put on this? I want to put more things on.
You got some like ears, maybe.
But I mean, like, what other effects could I possibly do here?
Oh wow, you could.
Right?
Oh yeah, one stupid effect that I always like to see on faces is vector blur, but it has nothing to do with.
What happens if I put bang on here?
Ooh.
Oh, an error occurred. Never mind. Don't put bang in between
Classic,
RBF and
classic.
SOB.
Let's see. There's a very bizarre effect you can do that's kind of fun with vector blur. I feel terrible for whoever this is, this stock person, but it's fun to add CC vector blur to something, and here we are, and use itself as the map for it. And then if you change the amount up, you can get this bizarrely. Let's see, I'll turn up the smoothness a bit, and then the amount to a negative value. You can start doing these weird kind of CG-looking effects and distortions to somebody, which are just interesting, I think.
Ooh.
Like, here's a weird spot for it. Let's see.
It looks like the early days of Magic Bullet Cosmo.
This face might be too much of a close-up. Let me see if I can find a medium-level face.
You have a medium level face, baby. That's me talking to the mirror.
Love it, love it. Ooh, this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's cool.
Let's see. So it's turn up the ridge smoothness, turn the angle down. Here we go. Map softness.
That's a weird look.
It's bizarre. So like I can turn this person into like a little like cat.
This is actually how all the effects from Cats were done.
This is what they should have done. I mean, this actually I think looks a little bit cooler already.
That makes me feel like I'm on something. Speaking of being on something, we're about to turn this show off in 7 minutes.
Speaking of on, off.
So where do we want to wrap this crap up, Hosh?
Well, it's really, really good to have you back, Seth. We missed
It's good to be back,
VFX and chilling every week. And yeah, we are going to be VFX and chilling cool stuff. We'll be doing all of our fun regular segments, including making fictional creatures fight each other at the end of the month, and turning people into velociraptors. And
The only thing we know how to do.
The people of the internet really, really like it. And you were here. You can say I was there. In
Yep.
the artistry was born. But let's see. I'll hide that the empty frame.
Hit that Michael button.
There we go. But yes, it's really good to be back. I feel a little rusty for giving the outro to the show, but our show is always better with your participation. So we love when you come by and see the show live, because we can answer your questions live like we got to do today. And also, if you follow us on social, you'll see whenever we put out feelers for suggestions for the show or for suggestions for one of our timed episodes, which we're excited to do. That's where we do our 20-minute VFX challenge, which is a stupid.
I haven't done it yet, but I really want to do it this
plan,
season.
but it's a lot of fun. Good to see you there, Jason Murphy, and thank you all so much for coming on in. That's mostly what I know we are doing today.
That's what
I
I
think
know.
we learned a whole lot of wonderful stuff. And Michael, good luck getting things into driveways. And
Yes.
everybody, have a wonderful weekend. Take some time for yourself. Take some time for others. And,
Take some time for me.
Take some time for Seth.
And for Hashi. Take some time for us.
I love it. I think there's no better way we could do it. Goodbay,
No better way.
everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.